We oftenly see people correlate India's freedom struggle majorly with the Gandhian movements, such as the non-cooperation movement, the Dandi March, civil disobedience movement, Quit India movement, and so on. But much beyond that, there are many stories hidden within the pages of history, specifically the story of valor and courage, the story of tears, the story of sweat and bloodshed, and precisely related to the tea gardens of Assam. In today's short video, we are going to explore about the freedom struggle in Assam's tea garden. What is Inland Emigration Act all about? How Britishers misused this? Let's focus upon this in today's short video. Now, before I start the video, let me talk about what is commercialization of agriculture and what is subsistence agriculture. Now, in subsistence agriculture, suppose I'm a farmer, I'm a cultivator. I will cultivate only those crops which are important for sustaining my livelihood. But in case of commercialized agriculture, I will cultivate those crops which are high in demand in the national as well as international market. Tobacco, poppy, opium, sugarcane, indigo, tea, all these are commercial crops. Now, initially, Britain or English East India Company or the Britishers, in simple words, they used to export opium from India to China. And they used to import tea in India from China. Later on, Britishers realized one thing, that the northeastern part of India, precisely the region of Assam, here the climatic condition is quite conducive for cultivation of tea. And now they started commercial cultivation of tea in the northeastern part of India, precisely in the region of Assam. Now, as a part of this, they came up with Inland Emigration Act of 1859. For example, now under this act, large areas of land were being, transformed into plantation fields, tea plantation fields. Now they require cheap laborers who could be manageable, who will work on these plantation fields. So under this act, it is believed that the contractors were given the permission to get the laborers from the underdeveloped states or the underdeveloped regions such as Chota Nagpur Plateau, certain parts of Bihar, Odisha, and certain parts of Andhra. Now, the Akratis, who were they? The middlemen, or specifically speaking, the Arkatis. These Arkatis were the recruitment agents. And these Arkatis, specifically, they used to show the rosy picture, the life of luxury and comfort to the laborers. And these laborers, they were attracted to this. And it is believed that from 1904 to 1919, approximately 220,000 laborers came here. And the very next year, 1919 and 1920, 1 lakh laborers again came here. Now they had to live specifically in a very doomy conditions. Let me give you a small example. Specifically, they were living in slums. And these regions where these people were living were referred as labor lines. Apart from this, there were persistent diseases such as dysentery, cholera, typhoid, and malaria-like conditions. They lived in completely ill-ventilated huts. Okay? Apart from this, they were paid minimum wages. To an extent, like many of them were being paid 3 pice per day. Apart from this, many of them, apart from getting paid 3 pice per day, they were given salt and rice as a bonus. Can you imagine? Salt, which is considered as one of the most important commodity of the food. It was considered as luxury by many. So apart from the wages that were given to these contract laborers, salt was also given to them, which was considered by them as a luxury. Correct? So their working condition was completely unhuman. It was not just for men. In fact, women and children also had to work for long hours under harsh discipline and so on. And from 1904 to 1921, approximately there were 140 riots. But like specifically we have seen about India's freedom struggle, Britishers have always followed a brutal policy of suppression. And in a very unhuman manner, it is believed that all these revolts were suppressed with complete brutality. These laborers had to work compulsorily. And at this point of time, but still they revived their nationalistic fervor, zeal, and enthusiasm. It is believed that these laborers used to come on the plantation field. They used to sing national songs, or they used to sing songs of enthusiasm, nationalistic fervor, and they used to chant anti-British slogan while going back to their living areas. Now, around 1921, M.K. Gandhi visited Assam. Now, before that, let me tell you about who were the martyrs as a part of Assam's tea garden movement. The first person was Diwan Maniram Dutt Baruha ji. Now, who was Diwan Maniram Dutt Baruha? Revolt of 1857. It had engulfed the major part of northern India. And it has also spread to the northeastern part of India. Diwan Maniram Dutt Baruha ji initially used to work as a tehsildar for Britishers. But later on, it is believed that there was a company's agent whose name was Charles Bruce. He visited here and he took certain samples of tea and presented it in the British Parliament. Later on, Britishers decided that they will go for commercial cultivation of tea in the northeastern part of India. After some time, Maniram Dutt ji, he wanted to start his own commercial cultivation with the help of the local tribe, Singapore tribe. But this was denied by the Britishers. So, as a part of revolt of 1857, Diwan Maniram Dutt ji and his brother Pyali Baruha ji actively participated in revolt of 1857. And both of them were being hanged at Jorhat jail in Assam. Another martyr, youngest female martyr in the Assam's tea garden, and she was campaigning along with the Congress volunteers against the anti-alcohol campaign, and she was an active participant of anti-alcohol campaign. And her name was Mungri ji, who is also referred as Malati Meme, the youngest female martyr of India's freedom struggle. In fact, Tileshwari Barua is also one, Kanaklata Barua ji is also one, but here I am speaking in terms of Assam's tea garden. Another name that comes is Christosen Munda. So all these are the martyrs of the tea gardens. Coming back to 1921. So as a part of 1921, it is said that Chargola and Longai tea gardens, they witnessed a brutal massacre. Okay? And this massacre, it is hidden within the books of history. Non-cooperation movement was initiated by M.K. Gandhi at Nagpur session. And Nagpur session of what we say Indian National Congress was presided by Vijay Raghavacharya. Here it was decided that Indian National Congress is going to start up with the non-cooperation movement based on twin principles of Satya and Ahimsa. Now, before initiating non-cooperation movement, M.K. Gandhi put forward certain demands before Britishers. One of the demand was specifically that restore back the land of Caliph, which is like it is also believed that Khilafat movement was merged with non-cooperation movement. Secondly, show lenient attitude towards Turkey. Go for an apology of what had happened in the Jallianwala Bagh and introduce fresh reforms in India. But all these demands of Indian National Congress precisely by M.K. Gandhi, it fell on deaf ears. And now M.K. Gandhi initiated the non-cooperation movement. And as a part of the non-cooperation movement, M.K. Gandhi visited the region of Assam. And this created a nationalist fervor among the tea workers in the region of Assam. Now, these workers who were the part of bonded labor, they saw this as a liberating movement, wherein they started working, they started becoming as a volunteer for the non-cooperation movement when M.K. Gandhi visited Assam. And it is said that these workers started shouting out the slogans, Gandhi Maharaj Ki Jai. And the Gurkha battalion came in, and more than 100 of these laborers were being killed on the spot. These soldiers started open firing on the unarmed crowd. The other people were being fined. The people who, like specifically those who were alive, they were sent back forcefully to the plantation field. But still, the movement was galvanized now. And after 1930s, it is believed that there was formation of Assam Chaha Mazdoor Sangh, and it played a very pivotal role in raising the voice of these tea laborers. In fact, women were an active participant of this. Precisely speaking, women had to work in the plantation field picking up the tea leaves in the scorching heat of the summer. And after the martyrdom of Mungriji, also referred as Malati Meme, women became an active participant in Assam tea garden movement. Finally, after independence, it is believed that, or around independence, Inland Emigration Act was being withdrawn and certain reforms were being introduced a decade later. So this was the contribution of different leaders. And specifically, this was nothing but India's freedom struggle as a part of Assam tea gardens, which is hidden within the books of history. My friends, StudyIQ IAS has come up with Target Year 2027 GS P2I Foundation Resolution Batch. And it's a December batch, and the admissions for these batches would be closing on 18th of December. Okay, the batches are specifically available in Hindi, bilingual, and the most important one, in English language. This will cater to the needs of the aspirants precisely from the northeastern part of India and southern part of India. So use the code Alok Live that is flashing on your screen to get the benefits of these batches. And the prices are starting at 12,499. The batches are also available for 2028 as well. So with this, I'll stop my words. Thank you and have a nice day.